Hi everyone, I'm Jiun and welcome to my channel Librumer. Welcome back if you have been here before. And today I come with another daytime episode, and by daytime you know that it's going to be very noisy. I have been trying to find the right moment to record, but it's impossible to record without noise. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about this challenge that I started at the beginning of the year and I have finally finished, which is reading the whole series of Dune. So I just finished reading Sandworms of Dune, and that was the last book in the series. I know there are other books, I will talk about them later on, but these 8 books are the main series, so I'm very happy. I'm very happy because I have finished. Yeah, so let's start by saying that I will probably say some spoilers. I will try. I always try not to say so much because I don't like spoiling. I don't like when people spoil. But sometimes when you want to share some thoughts and ideas, you need to explain why you like the book, why you didn't like it, and that's the only way. I mean, you have to share some information. So, but I will try to avoid major spoilers. And so, where all of this started, I think it was like maybe 10 years ago when I decided to read this book. I already explained this in previous videos. I wanted to read Dune. I think in those days I watched the movie, the original one. It was not the latest one. And I read it because there were many people talking about this book and say it's one of the classics in some way for science fiction books. And I wanted to know why this book is so important, why many people like it, whatever. And I read it, but I didn't find it that awesome like everyone was saying. It was just a normal book. It was okay. It was the first of a series, so the ending was not complete. I mean, there is more to say. So yeah, I didn't like the ending, and I didn't enjoy the characters. I mean, the story and the characters were just okay. I wouldn't say that it was bad, but it was just okay. Now, 10 years later, I decided I wanted to read this whole series. The only problem is that the movie appeared, I think 2 years ago. Yeah, it was on theaters or cinema. How can I say? Well, so everyone wanted to read the books, and to be honest, I don't like that. I mean, when I want to read a book, I hope that no one is reading it. And when everyone is reading it, for some reason, I don't feel the passion of reading it because it's like everyone is doing it. So, and it feels that, okay, if I read it, it's because everyone is doing it, just because the movie is already being portrayed. So I said, okay, never mind, I will read it next time. So this year, or well, at the end of last year, I decided to do this challenge, which is reading the whole series, 1 book per month. And I was hoping that maybe some people, more people, would read with me, but well, it didn't happen. But I think it's because I didn't even invite anyone. That's why, maybe one of the reasons, I don't know. But so the idea was reading 1 book per month. So in January, Dune; February, Dune Messiah; March, Children of Dune; April, God Emperor of Dune; May, Heretics of Dune; June, Chapter House Dune; July, Hunters of Dune; and August, Sandworms of Dune. So when I started reading in January, the first book, I was actually I was not sure if I will enjoy the series because the first book was okay but not awesome, And what I have heard is that the rest of the series is not that good. So if the first book is not that good, how much more? What about the rest? So I was like hesitant to read, but I wanted to know the whole series. So I read the first book, and when I read the second time, when it was a rereading, actually felt different. I really enjoyed the story. I think it was very good. I don't know, maybe I have forgotten many things, and now that I reread the book, it feels like new. I don't know. It was I enjoyed it. So I continued reading it, but from then on the series was not that good. Dune Messiah was okay. It's like the continuation of the first book, so nothing to say too much. And it was all about, I mean, the main topic was about the children in some way, like having children. So I didn't enjoy that. But the third book, Children of Dune, which is about the children, I mean, they are already grown up in some way, the children of Paul, that story was very interesting, and I like it. There was a lot of action, there are many things going on in there, and I enjoyed it. But from then on, the story became boring. And then got Emperor of Dune, Heredity of Dunes. It's like I didn't get the story. One of the problems, I think, is that the story is stretched into too many books, and the plot itself goes through thousands of years. So at the beginning, I didn't understand that, because it was kind of boring. Because if you start reading Dune and you like Paul Atreides, for instance, and you hope that character will appear in the rest of the series, but after thousands of years, you won't find it. You won't find him anymore. So it's like you are going to start reading about new characters, and you don't care about those characters because the story is kind of strange. Got Emperor of Dune. It's about one of the children of Paul, and then something happened with this boy, and you won't get it. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I didn't like this story. Then you have a Heritage of Dune, a chapter House of Dune, where you will find a group of women similar to the Bene Gesserit. Actually, I think they come from the same source, but after hundreds, thousands of years, they become a different group. And what I didn't like about this, it just these women control men through sexual act. That's the thing. So it was like kind of weird reading that, and in some way felt awkward. So the whole story of Heretics of Dune, Chapter House of Dune, and then, well, the other two books are about this group. So, and then there are other groups appearing, other how can I say, races or aliens, and then you start losing the point of the beginning, because you won't see Dune anymore, by the way. So the story will stretch to other, or will go to other planets. So it's not the same. But the concept of the place, Dune, the spice, the worms, a lot of that will continue through the whole series. But it won't be the same. And as far as I know, I think the first 6 books were written by Frank Herbert, but he unfortunately passed away, so he couldn't finish the whole series. So it was his son, I think it's called Brian. Brian Herbert, and together with another writer who is Kevin J. Anderson, they wrote, I think based on some notes that Frank Herbert left, they wrote the other 2 books, and they finished the whole series. And that's why I feel I have a mix of feelings, because the last 2 books, Hunters of Dune and Sandworms of Dune, were awesome. They were so good. I mean, I really enjoyed them, and they were really good. And I don't know if it's because the writers are different, but it felt different. When I was reading it, it was easy to read, and the dialogues were easy to read. They were entertaining. The story was entertaining. It became more like a space opera. So it's not just Dune, for instance, not just Arrakis and this desertic place, no tree, no water. No, it's more than that. There are more planets, there are more races, and it became more interesting. And actually, then you understand why the whole story in between. I mean, you start the series with a good book, Dune, okay. Dune Messiah is like, okay, but then I start to lose the point. But I think it's compulsory. I mean, you need to have all those books in the middle in order to reach the last two books. I don't know if you understand me. It's like, yeah, it's boring, it's long, there are too many books in between. It could have been like one or two books only. The plot itself, it goes through thousands of years, and you say, why it has to be like, because it has to be like that in order to understand the ending. So Hunters of Dune, Sandworms of Dune were really excellent books. Then you understand the story. It became very interesting. There are some characters that will go back, and there is a technique to bring them back. I'm not gonna enter in too much detail or say too many details, but yeah, then the characters became very interesting, all of them, and the ending, it's I mean, I thought, and I think many people will think that the ending was supposed to be in one way, and then there is a twist at the end, and it became awesome. Really, it was the ending. These last two books were the best. I think if I had to summary, I mean, if I have to make this series again, I will leave it with Dune, of course. Then maybe I will erase Dune Messiah. I will keep maybe Children of Dune, and then I will jump to Chapter House Dune, and so on. So I will leave it in maybe 5 books only, because it doesn't need too much information, but at the same time, you need, I mean, to create a story. So the ending, as I said, was there is a twist in the ending. It became much better. I don't know why, but in some way it's no, I'm not gonna say anything because maybe I will spoil. The thing is that at the end of the story, you will start understanding some of the things said in the first book. When you heard the word or the surname Butler or something like that, and there is another word that I don't remember. You will say, well, what is this? What this word means? And it's at the end when you understand that. That's why there are extra books. There are some books about their houses, like the House of Atreides, the House of Harkonnen, the House of Correno, I think. And there are some books that are called legends, if I'm not wrong, which are about what happened at the beginning, thousands of years before Dune. And you will know that story in the last book, in Sandworms of Dune. And so that's why you will say, that's why this happened and what is going on. And then you will have another surprise at the end. And so I'm not going to compare it with other books because it will give you some idea. But the thing is that it's very good, I mean, at the end. So I was trying to compare it with a video game. If this series is a video game, I would say that at first the side quest is more interesting than the main quest, but then when you finish the main quest, then you understand, like, no, actually the main quest is the best. So that's it. That's the Dune. Dune has a very good first book that explains most of the politics and religion and way of thinking of the people in this place. but I think it goes too much into the place itself, into the planet itself in Dune, while the story is not about Dune. It's not about this planet only. It's more than that. So yeah, when you will, if you understand that later on will become a soap opera, not soap opera, space opera, you will understand that yes, it's not just about Dune. It's about other other planets. It's about other races. It's not just about this present time, but also thousands of years into the past and thousands of years for the future too. So all in all, the story is good, but it's too much wordy in some way. Too many books, too many things going on, that just the last books were the best. So this series was, in general, was entertaining. It was very, but just the first book and the last two books, I would say. The middle was boring. I was getting bored. It's like I didn't even care about the characters. The funny thing that in the last book is when I was starting to get interested more about the characters and what's going on. So yeah, I think you will enjoy the last book. So if you are persistent and you can read all of the books, I think the reward at the end will be great. So that's it. That was Dune. One series finished out of my to be read list. And would I recommend it? I'm not sure, because I feel that there are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 books that it will maybe you won't enjoy, and I don't know if it's enough for you. The last 2 books to say, oh yes, it was worth to read the whole series. You can try, you can do it. And yeah, as I said, the last 2 books were the best of the series. So it's done. I finished with this series, and I'm planning already what to read next. So that's it. Sorry, because it has been very noisy outside. But if you have any thought about this series, if you want to share, if you have read the whole series, if you are planning to read this whole series, I hope to hear about that. I'm always interested in your comments and in what you can think or your opinion about, in this case, this series. So that's it, and I hope to see you in the next challenge, maybe. Either I'm already planning actually some challenges, series and trilogies. And if not, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.